We've seen some beautifully restored classic bikes in the series, but what do you think of these 70s speedsters? Now, a classic bike isn't necessarily British or very old. Just look at this stunning 1979 Ducati 900.
This bike I've owned from new since about 1979, so I've had it quite a long time. And first 2 years we had it, it was our only means of transport. So through the summer, through the winters, I mean, that was it, that's what we used. So 24, 25 years later, it's still with us. And every year they have a great classic bike show here every year in Nebworth, so I've been coming for the last 2 or 3 years. It's the first time I've actually brought this to this show. When I bought it back in 79, 80, it was a performance bike, and I mean, the Japanese bikes really did struggle, despite what the magazines might say, they did struggle to keep up with it. It could out-handle them, it could out-brake them, in many cases outperform them in acceleration. But if you compare it to a modern bike, it's slow steering, it's a bit wheezy in getting up to the top end, even though it's pretty good nick, and the brakes just don't bear any comparison to a modern sports bike. Well, it's funny, after all these years, it still gives me a kick to ride it. It's a great old Ducati from one of the early Bevels, and every day I take it out, it still gives me a grin. And despite the fact it's old and it doesn't perform like the modern bikes do, it's not even as civilised as the modern bikes, it's still a great ride, and it's still very enjoyable to ride.
It's a 1972 H2. It's an American import, and it got best H2 in the club last year. I'm hoping to defend that title next month. I've had this bike about 2 years and I've totally restored it, although when I bought it, it was in pretty original state. Just needed a bit of TLC, bring it back to spec, and I took it all the bits and set about doing it. Performance is okay. I mean, it's a bit more thirsty than a modern bike, purely because that's the way it was designed. But at low speed, it tends to want to surge a bit. It likes the open road and it likes to be whacked open,